Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop me a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys. It goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this week we are on issue 56 of Stormbringer magazine, and we get a new Warhammer Underworlds warband. So, this is Thundrik's Profiteers, the Cadron Overlords warband. As it is a warband from the Underworlds range, it is push-fit minis with pre-sculpted bases. Now, the biggest downside with push-fit minis is they're all designed so they should fit flush together. However, because they are pegs going into holes, essentially, sometimes you get air trapped behind them and it can't escape, and sometimes you don't get that flush finish. What I know some people do is some people cut the pegs off. So for instance, that peg there, they might try and cut that off. What other people do is kind of form a groove into the hole where that is going, so it allows the air to still escape, and you just put a bit of glue down there to hold it all in place. But yeah, it's up to you how you want to go about doing it, but yeah, fairly straightforward to put together, in all honesty. So, but they are pretty damn cool at exactly the same time. So, I'm quite happy with this. This will be, I think, our 5th or 6th warband from this range. So we've already had the Stormcast Eternals, we've had the Cruel Boys, we've had Sylvaneth, we've had Molog's Mob, and we've had the Gloomspite Git. So yeah, this will be our 6th warband, and I can't remember if we get a 7th one, because I can't remember if we get in the Iron Jaws one. Anyway, but yeah, really cool stuff. I do genuinely like the Warhammer Underworlds warbands. I think they're some of the best minis out there. I've got things like both of the Skaven ones. I've got Hexbane Hunters. I've got a couple of the Undead ones. Things like I've got all the Stormcast ones currently. And they all are really good. They all fit really nicely. They all work very nicely as well, and they're all very unique, which is generally what you want. So really good stuff there. Moving into this week's issue though, first off we are greeted by the Cadron Code. So the Cadron Code is the unifying document that governs the actions of the Cadron Overlords. It was drawn up during the Age of Chaos to allow the different skyports to form a confederation and work together. The Cadron Code was laid down at the Conference of Madralta, so establishing the Cadron Overlords as a united force. It is made up of numerous provisions that allow rival skyports to work alongside each other. The code is based on older ships' codes that governed life aboard a single ship, covering the pay, profit, duties and responsibilities of the crew, as well as ensuring discipline and mutual effort towards a common goal. So, the Cadron Code is an expansion of these principles to cover the entirety of Cadron society. Most Cadron feel that they were failed by the kings of former times and abandoned by their gods. The code provides an alternative way to govern society where each Cadron knows exactly what is expected of them and exactly what is due to them in return. So, the Cadron Overlords work in a very unique way for the mortal realm. So they are all based on kind of merchantism and profit and such like. So they all utilize a lot of legal loopholes to get out of doing things and to kind of get their own way. And yeah, they have a lot of that type of thing. So if you read any of the novels, I mean, the only main one that I really remember reading is Gitslayer, which is one of the Gottfried Gurnason novels, which is really interesting because it shows how they like to utilize a lot of legalese and loopholes to kind of get what they need and what they want, and kind of, yeah, that type of thing. And sometimes how, you know, they are willing to do things as long as there is profit in it for them, and that's how they generally kind of see it. But yeah, really good stuff, and pretty interesting as well. Then you get to find out a bit more information about how the framework of their society works, so whether they're Grunstock companies, ether chemists, etheric navigators, Endrin masters, code writers admirals. Everything is kind of balanced. So there is a hierarchy of society. So obviously the Arcanite admirals are your commanders that kind of work their way up through the ranks of the Arcanauts to become an admiral to then fight with. Code Rights are kind of like your lawyers in a roundabout way, and they kind of do things to kind of make sure everything works well, greater profits are made and stuff like that. Engineer Masters are engineers. The Etheric Navigators are your kind of wayfinders. Your Ether Chemists are masters at alchemy. And then obviously your Grundstock companies are more your defense orientated specialists who safeguard the sky fleets and such like that. So pretty cool stuff, pretty interesting and very, very unique. Now, talking about some of these type of units, you get a few of these. So good old Thundrik's Profiteers. In Thundrik's Profiteers, we do get an Ether Chemist up here. We're going to get an Arkanaut Admiral at some point, if I remember rightly, with this magazine, which is pretty cool. We've already had the Engineer Master with the de-riggable suit, and yeah, we'll get I think we get an Arkanaut company, and I think we might get some Grundstock as well, so I can't remember that in all honesty, but we do get some really, really nice units. I have got an Ether Chemist personally, which I painted up a few years ago when it first came out. Really, really good stuff. And you're going to get some really, really nice ones and some unique ones. So like, I think it was last year, one of the store exclusive, anniversary exclusive minis was one of the Cadron Overlords. And the other one for 40k was one of the Leagues of Votan. So yeah, you get some really, really nice units out of it. But yeah, really, really good stuff. And obviously, if you're into your Warhammer fiction, there is Dreki Flint, and there is a mini for Dreki Flint as well. So yeah, that fits in. So yeah, pretty good stuff. So yeah, anyway, your Thundrik's Profiteers, 5 different minis that are all 5 different parts of good old the Cadron Overlords Society, and they have kind of formed a band of profiteers. So, and you get all their names down there. I'm not going to try and pronounce them all because Jesus Christ, they're a mouthful. But anyway, you get some really, really, really good minis. Your build guide as well here. So you first off, starting off with good old Kazgan Drak Skewer, who's one of the Sky Wardens, which is why he has a little floating device on his back. You get Thundrik, you get Garrod Allenson, Deadeye Lund, and Enric Ironhail. So yeah, so several different minis. They're very, very interesting. Thundrik is the Ether Chemist for our group. Then you get your painting guide. Now, your painting guide, if you are painting up following the guide, you are doing the Baraknar Skyport colour scheme. So you're using the Baraknar Burgundy, Lead Belcher, and all sorts like that. There are other major Skyports out there, and all you can always create your own if you really, really wanted to. But I am personally going to choose a different colour scheme because I like to be awkward and do something slightly different. But anyway, the colour schemes are pretty decent. They're not too bad. It's a very, very straightforward colour scheme. There are quite a few steps in these now because we've got more and more paints, so it means less and less going back to it. But my kind of thing would be maybe not painting the bases up of certain minis before putting the mini. Well, don't put the mini on before you paint up the bases. I would paint up the bases personally separate for some of them. You can always blend them in later on if you need to, but it makes them stand out a little bit easier. It makes life a bit easier to paint them in all honesty as well. But otherwise, it's a pretty good paint scheme. It does work very, very nicely. It's, yeah, they look something like that when they're done. Yeah, it's up to you how you want to go about doing it, but yeah, it's not bad. Then obviously we've got our War Scroll page for Thundrik's Profiteer. So obviously there is a War Scroll for Thundrik, and then there is for one for his Profiteers, because they work kind of separately in a roundabout way, but they all work together. So if you take one, you have to take all of them in kind of official rules, and you get their tutorials of how to utilize them as well. You also get the Loon Smasher Fanatics tactics, so how to utilize them, as well as the Boingrot Bounders. Then we get our battle plan. So our battle plan is Scent of Blood, and Obviously you get to pick and choose your alliance, so your 2 heroes, 4 troops, and have a bit of fun with it. But the way it works is you got destruction coming in from both sides, and order of slap bang in the middle, and yeah, have a bit of fun with it. But yeah, really good stuff, pretty cool in all honesty, and definitely worth having a play around with and enjoy yourself. Now, moving on, next week is Squiggy time. So this is one that I personally have been looking forward to. So this is the Squig Herd. So I may try and pick up 2 copies of this because I do want Squig Herd because they're a bit fun. For pretty cool minis as well. So the Squigs are quite interesting, fun, squishy units that work as kind of like fodder for the Gloomspite kits. The issue after though, issue 58, is a paint issue, so we get Teclis Blue and we get Slanesh Grey, which I forgot we were getting Slanesh Grey because I bought a pot not long ago. But anyway, really good paints, nice colours as well in all honesty, so they're going to come in handy. But yeah, very straightforward. Now, the other thing I want to quickly mention is the fact that next week, I believe it is, on the 20th, there is some special announcements coming from Adepticon regarding Age of Sigmar. So if you haven't already seen it, there is a little teaser that exclaims that Sigmar lied. What could that mean? Who knows? But the speculation obviously is that we have a new edition of Age of Sigmar coming this year, which it's due this year anyway, so we know that. At Adepticon, they're probably going to announce it. So yeah, should be really good stuff. In all honesty, it's time to start taking bets. Personally, I believe Skaven are the next big bad for Age of Sigmar, so I'm expecting some good old rat men to come along with it. Who knows though? But anyway, really good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. I will try and keep you in the loop in between work, but really good and enjoyable, so happy times. Anyway, that's enough from me. I've been rambling on a little bit, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye now.